Twisted world where heroes will collide. Villains aren't the only evil, there are no fucking sides. Every match will test their stats, every loss and win are weighed. Any chance they thought they had could all end up in vain on Combo Breaker.
Alright, I think I've made all the Sans jokes I can actually get away with leading up to this episode. I think if I make any more, I'm gonna have a bad time. Oh god, that was awful. So, this match is actually quite the interesting one. We have a battle between two kids with powers that they wouldn't learn to use to their fullest potential until after a long journey full of character development, friendship, love, and loss. Or, the other connection, I guess, is two characters that everybody says are Sans, but they actually aren't Sans for the love of God. Anyway, allow me to introduce today's fighters. Steven Universe, the half-gem, half-human defender of Beach City. And Ness, the kid with a baseball bat from Super Smash Bros. Wait, he's not from Super Smash Bros? God, why don't you guys tell me this beforehand? I look like a fucking idiot. So, Ness, the homesick psychic kid from Earthbound. Alright, I gotta say it. I freaking love Steven Universe. It's a fantastic show. And Steven, while at first did seem like an annoying kid and kind of a whiny brat, he's definitely grown into a selfless character, willing to risk everything, including his life to save his friends. So on to what Steven's actually able to do with his powers and abilities. So Steven has the ability to shapeshift. Well, kind of. He's only ever shown this power on a few occasions, like turning his body parts into cats. That's actually really useless. Unless, nope, it's useless. I have no reason that you could ever use that in combat. Well, he also has the ability to manipulate his own age and appearance, which kind of falls under shapeshifting, but isn't exactly very useful either. But his most useful ability is his healing spit. Yep, he can spit on a wound to heal it, or crack gems to completely fix them. It's both equally gross and useful. Steven also has a sort of plant manipulation, but unlike someone like Poison Ivy, he doesn't necessarily manipulate plants straight up. No. He makes minions out of plants, like when he was able to spit on a pumpkin and it turned into a living pumpkin, or when he spit out watermelon seeds and they made a bunch of watermelon Stevens. So Steven also has a few other weird abilities, like while sleeping, Steven can actually communicate with other people and even control their bodies if they're asleep as well. Like, what the hell is this power list? Ugh. He can also actually levitate and slow and manipulate his fall speed, but he can't fly, which is kind of weird when you look at the other abilities we just mentioned, that he just can't fly. Steven's primary gem ability would be his gem weapon, his shield. Passed down by his mother, Steven's gem allows him to create shields that he can use for some interesting abilities and attacks. His shield can grow in size, reflect projectiles, and be thrown like Captain America's shield, only to have it come back. And speaking of Captain America, just like his shield, Steven's shield can actually emit vibrations that can disrupt certain things, like hologram pearls, and even Lapis' water clones. Now, Steven actually has another shield-related ability, this being his bubble shield. He basically can encase himself in it to block all incoming attacks and extend out spikes to make him into a deadly hamster ball of doom. He can also put the bubble around foes to encase them in it so they can't escape. Steven actually also has a weapon, being, well, another gem weapon that is. Technically not, though. See, his mother passed down a sword to him, a special sword designed to poof gems and never shatter them. This sword was designed by none other than the legendary Bismuth. Let's talk about Steven's accomplishments. Steven was strong enough to punch in the dashboard of Greg's van, destroy an arcade machine with his bare hands, vibrate his shield with enough power to disrupt and destroy water clones that are fighting with the crystal gems evenly, and he's beaten multiple hollow pearls at once, fought on par with Amethyst in a fight, and Steven was able to physically unfuse Topaz. Not to mention Topaz was able to take a beating from Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl without unfusing. He also has his shield that was able to block blasts from the diamond, from all three diamonds, as well as the diamonds individually, and his bubble was able to take the force of an exploding gem warship. Now, Steven's also stupid fast. He was fast enough to run at such a speed that Greg was only able to see him as a blur. Now, Greg is just a human and his eye definitely isn't trained, but this is still a very impressive speed feat. He's able to keep up with several high-level hollow pearls, he's fought on par with Amethyst before, and kept up with Bismuth in combat, even going as far as to draw his blade and kill her before she could attack. Keep in mind, Bismuth is shown to be able to fight Garnet quite evenly, and Garnet was able to punch a lightning bolt out of the air, and should scale to Pearl, who can pilot sub-relativistic ships. Now, his durability is actually quite unique. He's got impressive physical durability feats, like surviving an explosion of a temple or a headbutt from Jasper, and Jasper's able to fight on par with Garnet. but his durability mostly depends on his shield. Like when his bubble blocked the blast from a gem warship, saved all the gems from the warship crashing, and his shield was able to block an attack from yellow, blue, and white diamonds, and even take on attacks from yellow and blue diamond individually. This is mostly due to a major spoiler, okay? This is due to the fact that Steven's gem is actually pink diamond. Yes, his mom is actually the missing pink diamond. This gives him an outrageous amount of attack power and durability when it comes to his shield. So Steven's actually also quite smart. While he never attended school, which you'd think would make him an idiot, he's actually shown amazing problem-solving skills. He's made his way through dangerous areas and dungeons with nothing but random tools he brought in his hamburger backpack, and as of recently, he's been trained by the other gems who have fought in many wars. So Steven really only has one flaw that we need to talk about, and that's his pacifism. Yup, he actually will not go for a killing blow or even start the fight unless he absolutely has to. Like, if he has to start the fight or kill the person, he will. As seen when Bismuth was trying to kill him, so he poofed her. It's time to talk about that one guy from Super Smash Bros. Oh, wait, I already made that joke. Shit! Ness. Yeah, that kid from Earthbound. Yo, I got a confession to make. I really didn't know who Ness was until I started doing the research for this episode. But his game is really fun, and he's quite the interesting character, actually. So on to what this kid can actually do. He has the power to harm intangible beings. He's shown incredible resistance to mental attacks as he was able to resist attacks from the Mani Mani statue, whose main ability was to make you greedy and selfish, but he was completely unaffected. See, now someone like Mr. Krabs, I would love to see Mr. Krabs fight the Mani Mani statue. Oh, money. I just got that joke. He's also completely immune to time paradoxes. This is best shown in his fight with Gygas. You see, despite Gygas changing in the past and fighting him in the past, he didn't suffer any changes to the present time. He can also create objects at will and bring them into the real world, and he's completely immune to mind control. But his most known power is PSI. This allows him to do some of his best attacks, and surprisingly, most of them aren't in Smash Brothers or are horribly misrepresented in Smash Brothers. Like with his PK Rockin', where he sends out a huge PSI wave to strike his enemies. With Teleport, he has the ability to, well, teleport. Who would have guessed? But it's only to anywhere he's previously been. With Paralysis, he can make his opponent so numb they can't move. Wow, that's malicious. Like, you thought your foot falling asleep was bad, but damn, your whole fucking body? Whew. With his shield ability, he can actually half any incoming damage he would take and reflect the full damage back at the enemies. That is OP as all hell. And with his life up, he can heal himself and any allies. With his PK Flash, he has a chance to instantly kill an enemy, or at least make them go numb or burst into tears, along with doing insane amounts of damage. With Hypnosis, he can put a foe to sleep unless they're a highly intelligent being, because apparently if you're Brainiac, you don't need to sleep. And with his healing ability, he can remove negative status effects. I'm sorry, what? The heal ability doesn't heal, but life up heals? I don't understand why I have two separate abilities for that. Anyway, Ness carries a few weapons, like his signature baseball bat and yo-yo, a slingshot, and the Franklin badge that can reflect electrical projectiles. Ness is strong enough to beat a dog made of diamonds, which is incredibly impressive. He should be on par with the rest of the Chosen Four who can take on Starmen, and he's also touched the truth of the universe, which was described as being both space and time. His psychic consciousness is overlapped with everything in the universe, which allowed him to fight Gygas, who is a threat to time and the universe. Ness is actually able to take on Porky, who shoots lasers from his mech, and he's able to dodge these lasers. He's also fought Starmen, who shoot lightspeed projectiles, and he's actually become one with the universe, giving him incredible speeds. He's also survived hits from a dog made of diamond, as well as the Starmen, Porky's giant-ass mech, and he's able to fight and take hits from Gygas. While Ness is a skilled combatant and really good at using his PSI, once he became one with the universe, he gained the truth of the universe, pretty much meaning he has knowledge of everything. But Ness does actually have a flaw. I know, it doesn't sound like he does, but he does. So you see, he's a pacifist. He actually doesn't like fighting and won't unless he absolutely has to. Alright, the combatants are set. Which ultra-powerful pacifistic kid will come out on top in a fight to the death? Ness is running through the forest when a shield flies at him from the side. Ness dodges to the left and gets hit in the head by a bone that flies through the air. Ness looks over to see Sans the skeleton standing there and smiling. Ness runs over and hits Sans in the head, cracking his skull open into pieces, killing him. Ness then sighs in relief as Steven charges at him and tackles him, launching him back. Ness slides back and looks at Steven. Ness then launches out a PSI strike at Steven, who rolls to the side as it explodes behind him. Steven throws his shield at Ness, who reflects it, sending it right back at him as Steven jumps in the air and catches it and charges downward at Ness. Ness grabs his bat and swings it at Steven, hitting him in the head, launching him into the air. Ness then jumps up and launches a PK flash at Steven. The flash grows bigger as it approaches Steven, but Steven puts it in a bubble and sighs in relief as he floats down gently. But Ness sets off the flash, blowing up the bubble and launching Steven back and into a rock. Steven gets back up, badly hurt, but he's met with a kick from Ness to the head. Steven then stumbles back in pain as Ness swings his yo-yo upwards, hitting Steven in the jaw. Ness then grabs his bat and charges it before swinging it at full force at Steven, who puts himself in a bubble, blocking the blow. Steven then puts down his bubble as he punches Ness in the head, before pulling out his shield and hitting him across the face with it. Ness then falls back as Steven draws his sword and slashes at Ness, who blocks with his baseball bat and pushes Steven back. Ness puts up his hand and starts to heal as Steven rushes forward and stabs Ness in the gut and slashes him across the chest with his sword. Ness vanishes and reappears in the air as he heals his wounds and launches down a PK flash at Steven. Steven panics for a second before the flash goes off, blowing Steven's body to bits, launching his limbs in different directions. Steven's gem then flies up as Ness grabs his bat and smashes the gem to pieces with a single swing. Ness lands and walks away as Steven's body parts rain down from the sky. Alright, our winner is Ness, son of a bitch. Cut that. Our winner is Ness. So this match wasn't fair in the slightest. Poor Steven didn't stand a snowball's chance in hell. For starters, when it came to strength and durability, Steven's shield was able to block planet-level attacks from the diamonds. So his shield can take and should be able to output that amount of damage, being planet-level. Incredibly impressive, and for most cartoon characters and most video game characters, that's a huge threat. But Ness is capable of beating and taking hits from Gygus, a creature who threatened the universe and could mess with time. Ness straight up, and not to mention, Ness straight up merged with the universe, making him Universal Plus easily, making it so he 100% takes the strength and durability edge over Steven. Universal Plus trumps planet any day of the week. So maybe Steven could take speed, you're probably wondering. Well, Steven clocks in about relativistic speeds as he can take on Amethyst and multiple Hollow Pearls. Keep in mind, Hollow Pearls are about the same as Pearl, and Pearl can pilot relativistic speed ships. Also, Steven was able to move in a ship while it was moving at light speeds. Whether or not you can count this as a light speed feat is kind of pointless when you understand how fast Ness is. Problem is, Ness has become one with the universe, so he's literally omnipresent, making him severely outclass Steven in every way when it comes to speed. And Steven's shield, while impressive, will only be able to block one attack before breaking. His bubbles won't be able to contain any of Ness's attacks or Ness for more than a second. So yeah, Ness just shit-stomps Steven in every way. And don't get me wrong, while I love Steven Universe, he just doesn't stand a chance. Well, that was a gem of a fight, but Steven was earthbound to lose that fight in a bloody Ness. Wow, those puns were awful. You guys shouldn't take my puns for garnet. They aren't always a pink diamond in the rough. Alright, that's enough Nessing around for this episode. Oh god, 6 puns in a row. Oh god. Alright, our winner is Ness. Next time on Combo Breaker. That's right, next time we've got the legendary battle between Mario and Kratos. First of all, let me thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this to any friends you know who like versus debates. And, tell me what you think of the next match. Give me your predictions, maybe suggest matches in the comments, and they might happen.